Episode 3, here we go.
I know. Do you picture it's gonna be like this?
No, but I picture it now because it is. It's exactly like this.
What do you envision in general?
For
2 years ago, I don't think we would picture this.
no, because we're in 2025, and 2 years ago would have been summer of 2023. Ricky was turning 3, and I went back to work at the local school that I was working at, and then all of a sudden, it was pretty fast. I didn't even make it through the second semester, and that's when I stepped away, and you opened this private practice, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, just looking back, in many ways, it was very fast, but at the same time, there was a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we still experience.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's still every day is an up and down, and I really just thankful for what you've done behind the scenes at our home. So I'm truly grateful for that. Yeah.
So what we're talking today is how we came to this point, starting our own business and running a business as people that would have never, 1, envisioned that, 2, jumped right into it, and 3, here we are doing it with no set plan or experience. We're just taking it day by day, going as we can. And I think we should start out with where you started. See, I wasn't necessarily being a full load of help when you began, because I stayed home every day with Ricky at that time, full time, until the coming summer, the next summer of 2024, when I was actually able to step in and help. So what was that like in the beginning process of starting this place up?
Yeah, so starting, the outpatient clinic, I was working at a school, subcontracting, and I feel not lost, but I know I can do more to the people or students that I serve. And I feel like I'm very limited, not only with resources, but also with the engagement, whether it's the student or parents, because I only have about like 30-minute blocks or not even sometimes. And school really just address the participation in school, which is great. We want all the children to participate in school, but at the same time, there's a lot of missing links. And, you know, 3 4 years ago, I started with, taking trainings, and I was fortunate to, run into that. And with the training that I've done the past 3.5 years, generally, I truly enjoy the body work around it, and the progress that we've seen in our clinic is really significant. And the parents that I work with is very they when they follow through, and they see like immediate result to their children, and that's really, that I think that's the great trade-off. And I think my potential working in the clinic, or not the clinic, excuse me, with the school, I was very limited there. I don't think I could hire or achieve my highest potential as an occupational therapist and as a person if I stay as a school base. I know it's fun. Working in school is fun, and but I think I'm not more. I mean, it's more like a comfort zone, right? I'm in the comfort zone, but at the same time, there within me that's feeling not right. Like I could do more.
Right.
And I can do.
Well, what's done here? So in a school, sometimes it may seem as if what Earl does and the therapists that work here do is it's body work based, and in schools, there's just some fine lines where that might not be able to be
absolutely.
fully.
We do a lot of movement based in school,
Yeah.
which is great. A lot of play activities, which is amazing. Like I said, it's really good, and I think it's easy. to do it. And but I think there's more to the brain and body connection, and I enjoy all the courses that I've done the past 3 years and continue to take courses. Actually, going to July
Yeah,
in
July,
Orlando and
yeah.
one in Kansas,
Kansas City, Missouri.
and yeah, we're looking forward for that to get going again, back to continuing education. Yeah, so in general, in many ways, picturing this back in 2023 when I started, I mean, business back then in 2020 is different now than the business today. And I mean, the biggest challenge in general, just knowing who you are and what service you provide. And it took us about 6 months just to get known around, word of mouth, or,
Yeah.
just parents that looking for help for their child. So that's really, I think fully, I don't think we'd recover because I feel like that's a lot of loss in a way. Like, we're not really making anything from that 6 months of opening when we started.
Well, when you start any business, you're starting with nothing. You just kind of
Yeah.
you read a lot, you hear a lot, you start following business owners and people that have
Yeah.
maybe gone more of the entrepreneurial route and started something. When you start, you're starting from the ground. There's
Yeah.
nothing there to
There's a
work
lot
off
of
of. You have to create it on your own. And so I remember, at the time we had thought, see, it was the same weekend that he had opened up this private practice. The very next day after we had our grand opening is when we had realized we're going to have to keep Ricky home, and so we
Yeah.
weren't expecting me to lose my full-time income as a teacher. So there's really, it's just one of those things that you have to go where life is leading you. There's a plan for you. We talk about that a lot. You got to continue on the road that you were meant to be on, and you have to trust it. And so it's worrisome or nerve-wracking, of course, when you
I
realize.
still get that nerve.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're kind of always living it. I'm still living it. I think Earl does a better job with going day to day, not being so worried. Maybe he just keeps it in more. I don't know. But you just when you transfer into this venture and you're working for yourself and everything you create is what you're going to get cash flow from. Every service you give out is what your cash flow is going to come from. Whatever you're doing to help people, that's one of the number one things. What are you going to do in this world to make an impact, difference, and help people? That's how you're going to make money. But you just have to live on hope and faith that what you're doing is going to be beneficial for enough to make that income. And so I guess, you stepping away from school and that being planned, but me stepping away at the very same time and that not being planned and having to, continue and open this and just kind of grow as it grew. It is something you just have to trust in. I remember when you first opened this, I say you, I mean we opened it, but Earl was most definitely here way more and still is, but I'm getting here more and more. He was here every day, and we opened in November of 2023, and I said, Earl, as long as we can get 12 clients by the next November, I was like calculating what I thought bills would look like and what income should look like, and for some reason I got the number 12. I was like, if we can get to the number 12 by a year from now, we're going to be fine. Well, we got way beyond 12, and that's a blessing, and we're way beyond 12 as of today. And I just, I realized, like, when Earl had said at the beginning, did you ever picture us being here? No, I did not.
Oh, me too.
And now I think, like, where are we going to be 5 years from now? I just heard the other day, this is really powerful. I was listening to Caleb. We were driving somewhere. We're on the road a lot. I was listening to Caleb, and some author that writes Christian books or something, they had collected data, or they had made this statement, maybe amongst their own data in their own life or data collected from other people's lives, but it's all research till the age of 40. And then 40 is when your life actually starts, according to this guy and what he quoted. So that really, that hits something. It's all research. It's all just, figuring it out until the age of 40. And then that's when real life starts. So Earl's 30, gonna be 31 this year. I'm about to be 30, and I just think, what's 5 and 10 more years gonna bring us when 2.5 years ish? Have we been doing this now?
Yeah.
2.5, almost 3?
What?
Yeah.
Private practice?
Oh, 1.5.
One and a half year.
1.5, almost 2.
Yeah.
The growth we've had, like, wow.
Yeah, with that figuring out, and that's really what I felt when starting this, is like going to the, not power, I would say power in many ways, power of self journey and self awareness. I think it's such a important value for yourself to really find your true calling, purpose, and there's so much into that we can really just talk about in general. For me, my calling is to really work with children and adults. I've seen adults do. I just really just provide the best body work that I can give that client, every session. So I think that's my true calling, and also provide tools to the parents, to the caregivers, simple tips, simple activities, simple you know everything that we do. It everybody can do it, um, and to take the time. So it's been a wonderful journey. Hence, I'd also like an up and down journey in many ways, but it's good because that's really like building character, building resilience, building grit, and just that spirit of not giving up. And that's really, I think, life's all about. And that's really like the true power of my calling. I feel like give me that purpose to serve these people.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I remember, so going into 2024, I remember our mornings we would get up early, and you were working on another thing that you've been continuously working on that we haven't forgotten, and you still work on, but it's a longer process than we had thought, and one day it will come out, but Earl's still behind the scenes working on it. But I remember being up at like 4 in the morning, and you would have these meetings with these people, creating this thing, and that's when I started to realize, once you step out, whether you've been doing this for some time, or you wanted to take the chance to do it and start your own business, or work for yourself, whatever that may look like. If you're fully self-employed and you're making your own money, you're not getting paid by somebody else, the only way to keep going and to survive is always being creative and creating something for the people, creating something that's going to help them, and continuing to create more and more and more. You just can't stop. Once you start, you can't stop.
Yeah, and it's a lot of busy work, and I mean, I learned a lot in this piece in terms of communication, taking care of the clients, and just marketing, business structure. I think that's the thing that I'm struggling with in many ways, because we didn't come from this background of entrepreneurs, so to speak. I don't even know how to say that word because it doesn't come natural for us. That weird. So yeah, it's really just walking in this journey, and there's many roads to tackle, but really what we wanted to do just to stay on one road, really building this business and serving people as best as we can, as long as we can.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, it wasn't even so. You go into 2024, and I had, I'm home every day, and that wasn't, ever what we pictured. But here we are, and we're in a very different place than what we had pictured. And I didn't realize that, when I had left my job. See, the thing is that you hear about teachers leaving schools a lot, leaving their job and finding something else because they were not happy, satisfied. They felt burnt out. I heard so much of that. And so even though days that got very tough in my teaching career, it never led me to not wanting to go back the next day. I thought that was where I was going to be for my whole life. I really truly did. I've always thought that.
Yeah.
And it was just, pulled all of a sudden. And even though it was pulled and I wasn't really looking for it or wanting it, I went with it because I could feel and knew it was the right thing to do for our daughter. But of course, when I had to leave within that next week, it was sad. And so being at home, going in the beginning of 2024, some of it still felt, I couldn't really decipher if I was going to be going back into that or not. And eventually, once I realized how busy we were getting and Earl was getting and how much I enjoyed, I did enjoy being home with Ricky every day. And I realized that was a hidden blessing that came out of it all. But, it took a while to realize, that I'm probably not going back to that route, and that's okay. And it was not a waste of time. It was a very blessed time. I'm so thankful for every day I had with the students I had and the people I made relationships with and the people I got to work with, and it was just all so great. But being home every day, knowing that my body and my brain was used to working at the same time that Earl was, getting this business off the ground and running and, out there, I also started an online wellness business with a wellness company that I was able to start jumping into marketing and learning about that and how to network with people. And so in the midst of doing that, as we get into the summer of 2024 and having more people available to watch Ricky, I was able, at that time we had 2 office locations and there was one very close to our home. And I was able to go and start getting into how can I help with the load behind the scenes when it comes to marketing. I was already doing that anyway from home for that wellness business, and I still do that. And that's been another blessing in our lives that we've been able to have. So it brings in some income, and then we have this. And so now, as have been able to grow into doing more and more here, I do a lot of the marketing with Earl and the social media stuff and getting our name out there and trying to grow the company, the name, and what we offer.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, the time that consume just to even edit a video or anything. So everything we do is just by hand. So yeah, we're in this journey together, guys. So it's been really, you guys watch us how this gonna unfold.
Yeah. We're excited to be able to do this this podcast because there's nothing special about us. We're not special people. There's nothing, anybody can do anything they set their mind to, and they can go out there and help people the way they want to help them. And we're doing this because we
want to help more.
Right, we've gone through a good chunk of things that I feel like one of the most powerful things we can do in life is share what we've gone through with others, so other people can connect and realize that there is a way through.
Yes.
But I know that
Always.
Lots is to come, and so I think this will be a great time to start this and keep this going, so we can share as we go through things and as we jump hurdles and meet certain goals and things in business and life and parenting. It's a journey. It's all a journey, and it's a choice that you have to wake up every day and say, I'm just going to do the best I can. I'm going to be the best I can, do the best I can, and all that I'm out there to do. I'm going to follow the path that I was led to follow, and I'm going to be the best business owner, the best parent, the best person, the best family member, friend that I can be.
Yes.
So that's kind of where our business had started and where we have come as of right now.
Yeah. How would you like to finish this?
I don't know, you finish it. What do you want to finish it with?
I
where
think
we're at right now?
There's really what this is all about for me is know your calling. Know who you are. You're God's highest form of creation, right? And that's biblical. And yeah, I think that's a good start in general, because once you know that God's for you and will always be there for you, no matter what the circumstances, you can achieve a lot of great things. And also, and it's not gonna be easy, guys, because we live in it's a different world out there, very fast, digital age, and just really, you know that your purpose is to
That's the word.
it's a greater calling
Yes.
than you think. I think it's that we
Yes.
set something for ourselves, but there's greater calling beyond our
Mhm.
imagination. And I think to be partnering with God and the Lord, I can do great things, right? So
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
amen. So
Yeah.
I think that's how we're gonna finish that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Just know that at the very basis of what Earl just said is just understanding, when it comes to business and working, whether you're in the workforce and in corporate world, whether you're in a school setting, whether you're in retail, whether you're in, there's all these categories, right? Or whether you're a business owner, whatever it may be, you have to know that you have purpose, and you have a purpose that is distinct and different from anybody else, and you need to go out there and just work at it and give it your all each and every day. Yep.
Thank you, Blair.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you guys.
Yes.
Thanks for
Have a good
watching. Have a good one.
You can just hit that one.
That's a solid. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's good. I think that's pretty good.
I think